Hello and welcome to the ABB Formula E e-race, where our Formula E drivers go head-to-head with the fans who attend the races to see if they've got what it takes to beat them at their own game. We're here for the first race in Ad Diriyah, and if you're new to the e-race, here's a quick explainer. The e-race is a global competition held at each Formula E race using Real Racing 3 simulators with exclusively made street circuits for each event. Unique to Formula E, 4 gamers who set the quickest lap times during the weekend will get the chance to take on the Formula E Elite. The e-race championship will be tough, with cities going against each other from across the world. Season 5 of Formula E will see 4 brand new street circuits to tackle, including Bern, Sanya, Santiago, and here in Ad Diriyah. To find out the challenges our drivers will be facing, here's Dario Franchitti with a track guide.
Welcome to ABB Formula E from Saudi Arabia. Let's take a lap of this 2.49 kilometre 21 turn circuit.
Turn 18, a sharp right where we could see drama at the start of the race. Past pit entry and the final turn is a 90-degree right, followed by a short straight to turn 1, where a bump at the apex could knock you off line as you set up for turns 2, 3 and 4, which will be taken as one corner. Next up is 2 long corners. There's no let up here before we're into turn 8. This historic section of the track is one of the most technical I've ever seen. From turns 5 to here at 14, it's been one corner after another. There's a high-speed left at 15, then it's on to sweeping turn 16. Then it's up to the finish, on a steep incline. That completes a lap of this incredible track.
Last season, the Formula E fans lost against the drivers by 138 points, where out of 10 races, they only outscored the drivers twice. The best performing city was crowned to Punta del Este, topping the sheets with 53 points. But that was last season, and now with new cars, new drivers and new tracks, it's time for Season 5. Let's take a look at today's grid. Our 4 gamers lock out the front 2 rows, with Luis starting on pole and Gilles in 4th. Then the Formula E drivers are at the back, with Oliver Rowland in 5th and Stoffel van Dorn in 8th, both making their e-race debut. The drivers are waiting on the grid. 5-lap race begins now. Luis gets a good start from pole position. Oliver Rowland up into 4th place pretty early on as they get onto the brakes. Into the tricky first corner. Oh, and into the wall goes quite a few of the drivers. Mitch Evans is getting sideways there. He's been pushed almost to the back, and there's a spin for one of the Neo cars too. I think that's Osman in the Neo car who's been sent to the back, and round goes Mitch Evans and Stoffel van Dorn. They're both facing the wrong way in the Jaguar and the HWA respectively. And there is Mitch Evans wondering what on earth has happened there. But Luis, after starting on pole position, is now leading the way. He is there in the Nissan car. The Audi of Lucas de Grassi is behind him at the moment, with Al Mansour in 3rd place. There is Lucas de Grassi, the Season 3 Formula E champion. We're on board with him now, the Brazilian. That on the inset there is Osman, who is in 5th place. That's Oliver Rowland. He's trying to catch in front of him. Osman working hard, but now we're on board with Lucas de Grassi and watching the Brazilian at work. He's got Al Mansour right behind him, and Al Mansour hits him. De Grassi is sent spinning around. He loses that 2nd place. Hasn't quite got the turning circle to turn fully around. Now he's got to try and find reverse, and eventually the former champion gets going again. This is Luis then on the inset with the cap. We're watching Osman though in the Neo, who goes straight on at the chicane there. Lap 2 of 5. Osman running in 4th place. Here is Luis then, the race leader and the man you're seeing in your picture. As we go back to look at Osman in 4th position, we're on board with Osman now. You can see him moving around so much as he turns the wheel. Now he starts the descent downwards towards the lowest part of the circuit. Oh, big slide from Osman. Just about keeps it together. This is the really tricky section, of course. Left, right, difficult to follow almost where you are. We saw some great parts of that in that track guide with Dario Franchitti earlier. This is now Mitch Evans, who we're riding on board with, the Panasonic Jaguar driver. He's in 5th place as it stands now. He was pretty dominant last year in the E-races. He won an awful lot of them, but he's down in 5th place after that chaotic opening lap. So He's got a lot of work to do if he wants to climb back up the order. He's in 5th place as it stands. We're looking at the New Zealander in the picture there from Auckland on the north of the North Island. And he comes now around the left-hander at turn 1 and carries on his way. We're on board with him. You can see that the halo has been introduced into Formula E, and it's also been included in the Real Racing 3 game as well. But it doesn't actually affect the driver's vision because they're never looking straight ahead. They're always looking to the left or to the right. As we're now with Al Mansour, who is in the HWA car, and we are riding on board with Stoffel van Dorn in 6th place. And there's Oliver Rowland working hard at the wheel, the British driver making his Formula E full season debut this year, after doing a one-off race a couple of years ago in Punta del Este. But we are on board with the race leader, Luis. A really strong performance from him after taking pole position. He's just absolutely dominated. There's no one anywhere near him in the Nissan. And before too long, he's going to be starting his final lap. He's on the penultimate lap at the moment. Al Mansour doing a good job running in 2nd place. And we are on board with Al Mansour in 2nd place. Still looking at Luis in the box, though, as he tries to concentrate. But as you see from Mansour, you can't see the race leader anywhere in sight. Oliver Rowland has made it up into 3rd place then, ahead of Osman. Mitch Evans in 5th. Van Dorn, de Grassi and Gilles completing the 8 runners. The onboard shot is with Oliver Rowland. Is he going to be close enough to challenge Mansour? Can't quite see him. Meanwhile, Luis is on to the final lap then. So final lap has been started by Luis, who is driving the Nissan. One of the 2 Nissans, because Oliver Rowland there is in the other Nissan in 3rd place, who we're watching now start his final lap. So Rowland onto the brakes, into the right-hander at the chicane. That's the first part of the lap. It's a bit close behind between Mitch Evans and Stoffel van Dorn in the battle over 4th position. And in fact, I think Stoffel van Dorn's just got it. But we're on board on the final lap with Luis. He's come to this Formula E event. He's played on the simulators pretty much all morning. And he has set the fastest lap time, and as a result, gets to start on pole position and has subsequently, by the looks of it, beaten the Formula E drivers at their own game. Through the final corner comes Luis in the Nissan. A little gentle stroke of the beard, and well he might, because it is victory for him in Ad Diriyah. Very good performance from Luis to take the win. Al Mansour across the line in 2nd, so a 1st and 2nd place for the fans. That is going to start their championship in a very, very strong way. The first of the Formula E drivers is going to be Oliver Rowland there across the line in 3rd position. So after the first E-race this season, let's take a look at the final standings. Luis victorious after starting from pole position, bringing in 25 points. The fans in total bringing in 57 points, and the drivers following behind with 41. That's it from the E-racers here in Ad Diriyah. Next up will be the Marrakesh E-Prix, but until then, it's goodbye for now.